Hi guys, my name is Dylan Russell and I'm going to teach you how to be an entrepreneur. So let's get down to business. For my project I started D&D Lawncare with a little bit of help from my dad. Through this project I learned how to run a small business, I learned the billing software associated with my business, and I learned how to professionally maintain a yard. So I'm going to talk about the billing software for a minute, and it's called Yardbook. It's just a free website online, and you can get on there and you can enter in your client's information, you can enter in the yard information, and how much you charge per yard. And then at the end of the month, it makes it really easy to send out invoices and do billing. So I took a few steps to start my business. First, I had to find equipment, and I did that with a little bit of help from an investor. And the equipment that we found, it came all together. We got a lawnmower, a trailer, a weed whacker, an edger, and a blower. The second thing I had to do was find clients. So I had to find people to actually do the work for. Then third step, with the mower and the equipment that I bought, it took a little bit of time to practice and get really good at it, and I want people to think I'm professional, and I want them to hire me again and again. So the fourth step was I had to set up billing and client profiles on Yardbook, and the fifth step is I worked like crazy. So I know this sounds dumb, but these are the steps that I took when I mowed a lawn. The first thing I did was edge, then trim, then mow, and then I cleaned up everything and blew everything off. And there is a specific order that I learned over time, and that is what I found to make the yard look the very best. So how my project went. It started off on a bit of a crazy note. The first day that I went out, it was raining. And because of that, my mower got clogged, and I had no idea how to deal with that. So that set me back quite a bit. Also, getting from job to job, you need to make sure your jobs are closer together so that you're efficient. And the first time I did it, it was not very efficient. It took me a long time. And then as I started gaining more customers and more clients, I learned that it takes a lot of time to mow a bunch of lawns, so I worked for 12 to 14 hours a day. What I learned how to manage time. When you are doing 20 to 25 yards per day, you really need to manage your time wisely, because if you don't, then you will run out of time and you won't get all of your work done. I also learned how to keep my clients happy. Some people like their yard mowed a certain way, and they like you to come at a certain time, so I had to deal with that. I also learned the value of hard work. It was really cool to see that the more effort I put into the business, the more money I got out of it. I also learned how to deal with the unexpected. There's a lot of unexpected things that come when you're dealing with used equipment and just doing a lot of work. What I learned the hard way. I think I learned even more from the lessons that didn't come so easy. I learned a lot from breakdowns, and my truck broke down, my lawnmower broke down, and I had tire damage on my lawnmower, so that took a lot of time to fix. And I learned that used equipment is used. I bought all of my equipment used, and when you buy equipment like that, it tends to break down, and you have to deal with those breakdowns as you go. I also learned to always pack enough supplies: food, gas, weed whacker line, and money, and most importantly, water. I learned that when you're out in the sun for 12 to 14 hours a day, sunscreen and eye protection is really important. Especially when you're weed whacking, the line can break off and get in your eye, and I've been saved by sunglasses a few times. I also learned that I should not try and fix everything myself. The picture on the right demonstrates that. So there are two main brands of lawnmowers. There is a X-Mark, which is the red one on the left, and then there's a Walker, which is the yellow one on the right. And through some connections that I made with mechanics at the lawnmower mechanic shop, they lent me 2 brand new lawnmowers. So a 2018 X-Mark and a 2018 Walker. And there's pros and cons to both. I would say that the X-Mark is better for larger quantities of grass and bigger lawns, whereas the Walker is it's better for a refined cut. And interviewing a few people at the mechanic shop, they said that you would be crazy to buy a Walker because they break down and cost so much to repair, whereas the X-Mark is built more rugged and it lasts a long time. And I personally have an X-Mark and it works really well for me. As my business expanded, I had to purchase new equipment, and the main purchase that I made was the trailer on the right. So the trailer that I had when I first started was 5 feet by 10 feet, and you couldn't really fit a lot on there. Whereas the 7 by 14 foot trailer, I could fit grass and all of my equipment on there, and it saved me tons and tons of time. I also bought a new Husqvarna trimmer just because the one that I used gave out over time. So on my paper, I wrote about how to start and maintain a small business. I learned about the common downfalls that people go through when first starting a business. I learned the importance of research before you start your business. And I learned that hard work is the #1 thing you need when you're starting a new business. Do we have any questions?
Would you say that your business has been a success?
I would say that my business has been a success. I heard somewhere that the best way to learn how to start a business and run a business is to do it. And I've been hugely benefited by this. I've got a lot of personal experience and it's helped me a lot. Also, because of this business, I was able to save up a little bit of money to get me through college and other ventures in life. In the back.
So what are the differences between trimming and edging and all that stuff, and why do you need a specified order?
Okay, so I'll just go through my checklist. So the first thing is edging, and that is when you're up next to the grass is approaching a hard surface like concrete. So what you do is you get the edger and it goes right in between the grass and the concrete, and it makes a really nice line. And then trimming, you go around with a weed whacker and do all the perimeter and trees and things that need to be trimmed around. And the order behind that is when you trim and when you edge, you leave grass clippings behind. And if you mow and blow last, then that helps keep it looking really nice. Do you have a question?
Yeah, what advice would you give to someone who's starting their own business?
The advice that I would give to a prospective entrepreneur is put a lot of research into it and make sure there is a need for your service that you're providing or the product you're providing. And also save up a little bit of money so you, if it doesn't go so well, then you have something to fall back on. One more question real quick.
What were you fixing when you cut your hand?
I hit a piece of metal and the blade popped off, so I had to realign it, and that cut my hand pretty bad. So thank you for coming, and that's it.